Hello and welcome to Together We Connect, another session. Here we have today, which I am so grateful about, and there's a reason why we're smiling about that one, and privileged because I've got Mr. Gratitude Guy here today. It's Alon Jospeh. Alon does many things for the Jewish community here in South Africa, but how I got to know Alon was how I got to know Alon, and the reason why I'm so excited to discuss today. It's a topic that I think all of us take for granted, and the topic I want to discuss today is gratitude and the power behind it. And I know through chatting through Alon and the different challenges and stuff that he has, it's completely done a 360 to my life. So without further ado, Alon, can you introduce yourself?
Thank you so much. Such an honor and privilege to be with you. Really, thank you for inviting me to be here. Gratitude is one of those things that I guess we came across it by chance in the work that I do. I'll share it with you. And it's been one of those things that have just changed people's lives. It's something so simple, but so powerful that it has such a deep impact on people that it's amazing. So I started a company about 12 years ago called Live Your Part. Before that, I had another company called Mind Tools. And it's always been about training and helping companies to develop their people and to develop their staff. And if you have happier staff, then you have a more successful company. So it's about creating a higher staff engagement. But how do you engage with your staff? How does a company engage with their staff to really get their employees to be happy and to love what they do?
Quite an important area here.
It's a huge area, because if you want to be successful in business, you've got to have happy staff. You cannot be successful if you do not have happy staff. It just will never work.
Right.
So happy staff is the key to everything. And the more engaged staff you've got, then the happier they're going to be and the more successful your company. So if you want to have a successful company, you really have to develop your staff.
Right. And I think that area people miss out on here, like to invest in one's employees. I think that could be one of on the last kind of agenda, like a boss or CEO, like why would I want to do that? So that's quite incredible that companies, if they want real change and success in a business, they realize it's about happiness. And what is happiness about? It's all about gratitude.
Correct.
So Alon, if you can share with us, like, when you go into a business, like what are the first few steps? How do you introduce this topic? Because when I first heard of, this guy, he goes into a company and talks about gratitude. So I just think about like when I was in school and I wrote letters, dear mommy, to daddy, thank you. That was my idea. But what you do is like on another level, and I think people would love to know more about it.
So what we do when we go into companies, we help them create culture based on values. That's essentially what we do. If you want to have a successful business, you have to have a good culture. What creates culture is values. And the biggest values that will have the biggest impact on people are human values. And when we started looking at that, we looked around and we said, well, what are the biggest human values that will impact someone's life? And we started playing around with it, and we tried different things, and we spent a number of months working on it. We went away on a seminar and someone spoke about gratitude. It was in a personal setting, self-development, but he spoke about gratitude, and we looked and said, wow, gratitude, that's incredible. And we started researching and playing around with it, and the reason why gratitude works, what happens is that when you go into a company, we sit with them and we say, right, what are the values you want? What are the behaviors you want from your staff? How do you want to change people's lives? They've got their values, and then we tell them that the one value you have to have is gratitude. And the reason why gratitude is so important is because you want people to be productive, you want them to be energetic, you want them to be positive. But how do you create that? We live in a society that is so negative. If you listen to the radio, you look at billboards, you read the news,
social media, also
everything, it's all negative.
Yeah.
And then you're still expected to be positive by being in such a negative space. It doesn't work. So what we found in the research behind gratitude is that what it does is that it helps you focus on the good. And as you correctly said, we're so blessed if we just stop and take a moment and just think about how blessed we really are. We are truly blessed with everything that we've got. And gratitude helps us to focus on that, and it helps us to redirect our mind to look at the good. Right. We know that statistically, for every 4 negative comments, you need 1 positive comment just to create a balance.
Wow.
It's not 1 for 1. It's not like 1 negative and 1 positive, and there it is. The power of negativity is that for every 4 negative, you need to balance it out. For 1 negative, you need 4 positive. So, in other words, 1 negative is 4 positive. So, you have to spend a lot more time building up your positivity. So if you think about it, 1 negative comment, you need 4 positives. The equation isn't there. Now, if you're in an environment which is totally negative, and you're trying to be optimistic and positive, it's very, very difficult. Right. So what gratitude does is it helps you focus on the good. It helps you focus on the positive.
Do you think like when a boss or manager comes over and just says, hey, thank you, I noticed you did this today, that little bit can really empower an employee, hey? Like it can change the whole day around.
You have no idea.
To that.
The research we've done and the things we've tried in the businesses we've worked with, I once got a CEO to handwrite letters to all, he had about 45, 50 employees, and I'm going to handwrite thank you notes to them. He'd been running the company about 8, 9 years. We came and we were working with him, and he started writing these handwritten notes. Thank you so much. So the one woman's name, her name was Lucy. He said, you know, thank you so much for all the time and the effort you put into something. I so appreciate it. And she came to me afterwards and she was sobbing. She was like these tears coming down, and she says, wow. It was like right now, it took him literally about 45 seconds to write that letter, that's it. But the impact it had on her life and how it literally changed her attitude towards work, towards herself, towards the boss, everything changed from just that little note.
So I want to just jump in there, and that's quite powerful. That's actually quite emotional, and people don't realise that. Like, I always say, don't shy away from saying thank you. And talking about thank you, what I've tried to do is I start my day when I'm eating breakfast is to, like, in my journal, is to write a few things that I'm grateful for in advance. And I actually got that from, I think we're going to come to it soon, from the gratitude challenge that came on LinkedIn, which I think was fantastic. Since that moment, since that time that I did the gratitude journal and the gratitude challenge, it's really changed my attitude, because sometimes in the morning, like, you wake up and you're automatically on a bit of a low. So when you start your day writing something like you're thankful for, like something so simple, like I'm so thankful for my husband, that I think a lot of people take advantage of family, or thank you for breakfast that I'm eating right now. And at first I thought it sounded a bit silly, like, to be honest, let's like get real here. But when you get into it, it changes one's day. And last week was quite a hard week and a challenging week for my husband and I. But when one starts on I'm thankful for this, there's a switch and you become more proactive. And I think that's what, if I'm correct in thinking, that's what happens in the business, maybe, like, or just anyone's life, really, you know? Would you agree on it?
So you've got to remember, a business is made up of people. At the end of the day, your business is employees, and employees are human beings. So you have to relate to them as a human being, right? But who would have thought, right? But that's what it is.
Not robots.
No.
Not robots working.
And that's where a lot of us. So it's a human being. So if you relate to them as a human being, you're going to get that same response. It's like you said, like, you have that gratitude, you build up the human values, you acknowledge them as a human being, you're going to get the same response. They're not a machine. Yes, you could say, yeah, it's a job. I want you to do this for me and that for me. But there's a human being behind that job.
Right.
And when you connect with that person, the results is just like, because at the end of the day, when you look out for the best of other people and you want the best for them, they will give you their best.
True. Yeah.
You know? And it is, you're right. So, I mean, we'll talk about the gratitude challenge, but when you start your day in a positive way, when you look for the positives, you find that there's so much more out there. If you look for the negative, you'll find the negative.
Yeah.
If you look for the positive, you'll find the positive. Mm-hmm. They're both there. Mm-hmm. We're surrounded by so many things, but what am I choosing to focus on?
100%, yeah.
Yeah. So gratitude just helps you to focus on the good instead of focusing on the bad.
Yeah, it's focusing on what you have rather than what you don't have.
Right. And we have a lot, but the problem is, as you said, we tend to take a lot of it for granted. You know, like, for example, if you think of your health or your ability to hear or see, all these types type of things. When last did you stop and say, wow, I can see, I can hear, I can walk, I can talk, right? But we take, I can feel my pulse. Wow, my heart's still beating, right? When last did you stop and think, oh, my heart's beating? Yeah, that's a good thing. Because if your heart stops beating, we know you got a lot of problems. But how often do we stop and appreciate, I can take a deep breath? There is so much beauty around us and within us. But if we don't focus on it, we tend to take it for granted. And the more you take something for granted, the less you appreciate it.
And it's horrible being that way. It's like being the person who I am now and looking back, it's like a bit scary. Like I don't want to be that better person. I don't want to take things for granted. I'm so happy to have my husband that I have. I love the house I live. I love the car. We have this little blue Suzuki. And I'm really nervous when we buy big trucks that are just going to like knock us over. But you know what? It gets me to places. And I think that's what life is about. So,
that's what I'm saying. Focus on the good. Focus on what you've got. We tend to live in a world where the world praises people who have a lot of things. You know, the materialism, oh wow, he's got a yacht and a boat and a this and a that, you know?
correct.
But and I've got nothing compared to that person. But there's always people who've also got less than you. And where are you choosing to focus your attention on?
Yeah.
What are you choosing to focus on? When you look at the good, you will find the good. When you appreciate what you've got, you'll start appreciating so much more.
Correct.
That's an amazing thing. You know, I once asked a group of university students to do the same thing. I was running a workshop with them and I gave them an A4 piece of paper and I wanted to teach them about gratitude. And I asked them to list every single item they have in their home. Walk into your front door and list for me every single thing. Go into your kitchen. How many knives, forks, teaspoons, cuts, pots, pans, anything you can think of. Dishcloths, washing up stuff. Go into every bedroom. Count how many pairs of socks. How many pillowcases. How many plugs did you have? How many brooms?
I must have thought that, but quickly.
Right? And they started listing and listing and listing everything. It went on. It took them about half an hour, 45 minutes. And then I said to them, great. Now I want you to look at that list and choose one or two items and take them away. Right? How different would your house be if you don't have a broom or you don't have a vacuum cleaner or you don't have dishwashing liquid? How different would your house be? Totally different. But do you appreciate that? No, I just take it for granted that I've got all these things in my house. Right? I've got a huge warehouse under one roof, but I take it for granted.
So hey, that's mind blowing. Like it really, it's like seeing the world in a very different perspective. So like
very, very much so. And that's what I'm saying. What gratitude does is it just helps your mind focus on the right things in life.
Right. On what's actually the important things.
Yes.
That gets us going. Could you share with us any more stories like within like either business or I know you went into one or two schools and you did this program. Do you have any powerful stories to share with us?
Oh, there's so much to share. So I'll share with you the gratitude challenge because that was the most recent thing. And why I loved it.
You always had the lady's name. You did it together or?
Yes. So I did one gratitude challenge before.
Okay.
And then this lady Jax was on it and she was like, I want to do this for my people. So I was like, okay, great, let's spread, let's get it out there. Let's do it. So she had a whole group of people. So I said, great, I'll set it up for you. You'll make all the videos, you'll do everything, and we'll run it together. And it was amazing. And the gratitude challenge runs for 15 days. Takes 5 to 7 minutes a day. And what it is, it's about learning to focus on the good. You know, it's like the way that the challenge works is that there's a daily quote, but it's about putting yourself into it. So what 3 things are you grateful for today? And when you start asking yourself those questions and you start looking at it, it's amazing how people's lives start to change. You know, so you mentioned it so powerfully how your life, just from doing 15 days of gratitude changed. And I had so many people who shared with me.
Keep it up. Keep going.
We're launching another one.
Yeah. Because it's so nice to hear what other people were thankful for.
And that's the beauty of it. So what happens with that is that you share something and someone else says, wow, that's amazing and I'm so grateful for this. So it creates a community of people who are thankful for things. And the feedback that I got from people afterwards was just phenomenal.
Really?
It was so incredible. Like I was saying, 15 days in my life changed. I now see people in my life differently because I'm grateful for them. I now see possessions that I have so differently because I'm grateful for having them.
Wow.
So it's amazing how when you start developing a culture around it and you start making a daily habit of it, it's amazing how your life starts to change around it.
And it's quite a healthy attitude as well. Like it can change like your health. Like just like by saying, oh no, thank you for the jog I went on this morning, and like thank you for the healthy stuff. Like your mind just gets into that mood.
So the research behind gratitude, when we came across it, the benefits that one has from it, you have better friendships, you have better relationships, you are actually healthier, and the research has something very interesting, that people who have gratitude tend to live longer as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and it's a crazy thing. Why? Because when you focus on good, you feel energized.
Yeah, yeah.
You're right. So if you have better relationships, kids in school who have it tend to do better grades and they have better relationships because you're focusing on the good. You're focusing on what you can do, not on what you can't do.
And that's important.
It's huge.
Because people always say what you can't do, not what you can do, and especially in a school environment, that is just great to have a good attitude and really energizes kids. Because to be grateful, you don't have to be the best at sports. You don't have to be the best employee. You don't have to be, the mum of the month. It's such a simple attitude that can go miles, and I call it the domino effect.
So it's such a powerful concept, because what you're really saying is, once you look at gratitude, once you look at what you've got, then I don't have to be the best because I appreciate what I can do. It's not what I can't do. If you look at a school, well, I got 40%, I got 50%. It's not about that. It's about saying, wow, I got 50% of it right. Not 60% wrong. It's about looking at the positive, not the negative.
Right.
I might not have won the race, but I achieved the personal best. I finished it. Focus on what you are good at. Focus on what you do have, not on what you don't have.
Because I guess then you're like, when you're counting kind of your blessings and what you're thankful for, then you notice what you accomplished as well.
Right, and that motivates you to want to achieve more. If you're always going to be on the negative, you're always going to feel, oh, I'm bad at this and I can't do this and this is terrible and that's terrible.
It's so easy to go into, hey?
Well, that's our natural default.
Yeah.
The world that we live in, if you look at all marketing, it's the most interesting thing. If you look at all marketing, have you ever seen an advert that says, don't buy me, you've already got some of me at home, like a washing machine. Don't buy me, you've already got one of me at home. Or don't buy a new car, your car's great already. No. All of marketing is about telling you what you've got is not good enough. And then you need this because this is going to make your life even better. And if you don't have it, you're nothing. That's what marketing is, because that's how they sell their product. And we believe that. I believe that if I'm not driving that car, I'm useless. I haven't achieved success.
Yeah, I mean, I do really want an Lamborghini, but it's my dream car.
Yeah, right? But and there's nothing wrong with having that drive and having that ambition.
Yeah.
And it's good to have that. But if you believe you're worthless because you don't have that, that's the problem.
Right.
You should have drive and you should have ambition and you should have, I'm going to own that Lamborghini one day. And that's great, and go for it. But if you're looking at someone who's got that and feeling like, I'm useless, I'm worthless, what I've got now is nothing, you're never going to get there.
So for someone who's feeling like worthless or like doesn't feel good or negative, like what piece of advice would you say to them? Like, what's like the little thing that you would say actually how to help them get to a better place?
So to make it practical,
Yeah.
daily gratitude.
Daily
gratitude, that's it. Or you can either have a gratitude journal, daily gratitude, do something that you're going to start looking at that good. Take 3 things a day. Say, what 3 things am I grateful for? Either end your day like that before you go to sleep, write out, what 3 things am I grateful for today? Or you start your day and say, what 3 things am I grateful for yesterday? Or what 3 things am I grateful for now? Why am I grateful for that? Start that journey. Even if you just do one thing at the beginning. Start the journey of gratitude. Start the journey looking for that positivity. Right. Force yourself to look for it. There's always something good in every day. Find it.
I also found what was amazing about the challenge was you had to find what you're thankful within yourself, thankful for others, and yeah, also about 3 things. I thought it was quite amazing how you touched on different areas as well. Like it was.
So that was intentional, because I want people to look at themselves and realize, wow, there's actually so many areas of my life that I can have gratitude in. There's family, friends, there's possessions, there's so many things. There's who I am.
Right.
And each of those areas, there are things that I should be grateful for in those areas. Right. Today I might not be grateful for who I am, but I'm grateful for the people around me. But tomorrow, I might be grateful for who I am because I really feel good that I achieved something. I really feel good that I set a goal and I did it. Wow, I'm grateful that I did that.
That's awesome, hey?
So we are holistic human beings, and we have to look at ourselves like that. We have to appreciate ourselves like that.
Wow.
So my practical advice is just start the journey.
Start it.
Yeah, that's what it is. Just take a little step, look for the positivity, look for something that you appreciate, and you'll start to notice how much more there is. Once you start it,
Right.
it's amazing to see that you start with, oh wow, I got this.
Can you share with us like something maybe powerful that happened to you? Like,
Oh, I don't know, there's so much. There's so much.
One thing that like, just was like, gee, I took that for granted before, or like, I didn't notice that person before, or hey, this whole gratitude thing I got myself into has really changed so many lives. Like, what's...
So I'll tell you what's interesting about it is that the more gratitude I share, the more impact you have on the world around you. And you think, often I'll share posts on LinkedIn just about gratitude, and I'm really just putting myself out there because I want to share something about it.
Right.
And the people who contact me because of that, you never realize the impact you'll have on other people.
Right, no, you don't.
Yeah, I've had a number of people who say, I love that daily, I sit with my husband at breakfast every day and I read to him your daily motivation, and it gives us such a boost for the day. And I'm like,
that's amazing.
wow. Yeah, I was like, I didn't think that was happening. And when I don't post, I get a message from them saying, I'm missing it. Yeah, so it's amazing. I was really just putting it out there for me, but it was touching other people's lives and getting that feedback from them and saying like, wow, you're really making a difference in my life because of that. That to me was like, wow, we're really doing something. Yeah, and that's impacting other people's lives, and they'll change other people's lives. And that's the power that we have as human beings, is that when we share gratitude, we change someone else's life and they'll pass that on. And as you said, it's the domino effect. You don't know how far you can go with that.
It's amazing how like a little me can actually make a difference. We don't see ourselves like that person. Like, we think like, well, who's going to notice me? But the minute you say thank you to someone, and they pick that up, and then they start noticing someone else. They come home from work, or that little kid comes home and shares something with his little brother, and is just so thankful that it changes families.
Changes families, changes communities. That's the power of gratitude, is that you never realize how powerful one word is. And just say to someone here, I so appreciate what you did for me. You have no idea the domino effect and how far that can reach. We don't realize how far these things can go.
No, we don't. Right?
But it is so powerful, it is so incredible. And that's what I'm saying, just start the journey, start that process, and you'll realize you'll feel better because you feel more positive. You pass that positivity over to other people, they'll feel better, and they pass it on. One person does have the ability to change the world. And I believe that gratitude is that tool that can help us appreciate what we've got, that will help us create that domino effect to change that world around us.
I can't help it, but the song from Aladdin comes to my mind, A Whole New World. And that's what I think gratitude is about. It's like a whole new world.
It
it's
is.
Like that magic carpet, you're seeing things from a new perspective. I don't know why that came in my head.
I
just had to share that. But you mentioned there's another challenge coming out.
There is. I'm hoping that towards the middle of February we're going to launch another gratitude challenge for 15 days.
Great.
So bring your friends, sign up, it's free, it's great.
Are you promoting it on LinkedIn? Or?
I will start. I haven't started it yet, I'm still setting it all up, but yeah.
If you need help, let us know.
I will do.
We're more than happy, more than grateful to put that up. But no, thank you for being here. And if people want to get in touch with you, how do they get in touch with you?
So the best thing is on LinkedIn or my email, Alon, A-L-O-N, @liveyourpath.com. Or on LinkedIn, look up Alon Jospeh. I'm there all the time. And that's the best way. Communicate, let's share with each other, let's grow, let's have a lot of fun, let's change the world.
Well, one step at a time. I think that's on your...
one thank you at a time.
One thank you at a time. Hey?
One thank you. That's how you change the world. One thank you at a time.
That was brilliant. So I want to just go back a bit before we end up. With the businesses, like how long do you stay in the business, like to build up this, or like...
So we generally work with them. We become part of them.
We become part of. Okay.
Some businesses we've been 8, 9, 10, 11 years. Some we've just started with, yeah.
So you come with just different strategies and different topics.
So we help them. We become an add-on to their business. That we help them create a very, very powerful culture. And we have a lot of feedback mechanisms where I sit with the staff, I help them integrate the values into management, into teams. So it's a dynamic process that's always moving. Sometimes we get to a point where we say, great guys, you're happy, go out and change the world yourself. And sometimes guys are like, no, we still want you to work with us, like we need to do this, we need to do that, we need some strategy. So we work with staff, we become an add-on to their HR and to the exco, and we help them to create really, really powerful companies, really powerful teams. And it just and also like the stories we have through that and the feedback we've had over the years, how many businesses we've changed, those lives we've touched, has just been, we've been really blessed. I can really say that. Wow. Been really, really blessed.
Well, so I mean, I always end off thanking people, but Alon, today really like this topic has just been unbelievable to speak about, and I hope my listeners as well are going to enjoy it. And thank you so much for sharing our story. And
thank you. It's my, as you say, thanks. I say thank you for the opportunity. I really, really appreciate it.
And let's get people on this challenge. Right?
Yes, let's go. Let's change the world.